Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Good morning, second grade. My name is Mrs. Vang, and I'm so excited to have you join me so that we can learn our letters and our sounds so that we can become amazing readers and writers. So, I have a fun book to share with you. This is a book called Leaf Trouble by Jonathan Emmett, illustrated by Caroline Jane Church. And in this book, there's a little squirrel named Pip. And he wakes up one day and he noticed that all the leaves around him are changing colors. They're changing to red, brown, yellow, and orange. And he can't figure it out why. And he can't figure out why they are falling until his mom explains to him that it's because of autumn. So, if you want to read more about leaf trouble, try to see if you can find this book on Sora or at your county library. Now, speaking of Sora, this week we have all of the same schools in the same spot. So awesome job to those schools that are doing a great job keeping up reading, checking out books and reading on Sora. And don't forget, if you want your school to be up on our chart, then you need to check out books on Sora so that you can be reading. So let's give them a sparkle snap for all the schools that are doing a great job. So to do the sparkle snap, all we do is we throw sparkles in the air, we snap. Ready? Let's give them the sparkle snap. Ready? Snap. Good job, boys and girls. And don't forget, boys and girls, I will love it if you will write to me here in our PBS classroom. Look at the address below. Tell me what you have been learning and or what books you would recommend for me to share with everybody. And if you write to me, don't forget to put your return address so I can send you one of these fun activity books. So don't forget, write me a letter of what you're doing or write to me and recommend a book so that I can share with everybody. Are you ready? Awesome, let's get started. I know it's been a long, busy weekend, so let's wake up our brain because we need to make our brain start strong. Ready? Awesome. So we're going to start with a review game called Mystery Word. To play this game, I'm going to show you some sound spelling cards. Your job is to blend them together and guess my word. Try to write them, or try to write out the letters that's going to spell out my mystery word. Ready? Awesome. Let's get started. Okay. My first sound is the sun card. The sun card makes the S sound. The next sound is the piano card, and that makes the P sound. The next card is my rose card, and that makes the R sound. The next one is my insect card, and that makes the I sound. And the last sound, oh, there's that diagram. That's my sing card. And remember, it makes the ng sound. So blend my sounds together. Ready? Sp, r, spr. That's right. That's that three-letter blend. Spr, I, ing. What's my mystery word? Spring. You're right. Let's check to see how spring is spelled. Ready? Spring is spelled S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. Thumbs up if you got it. Awesome job, boys and girls. So now that our brain is warmed up, let's go and practice our high-frequency words. Remember, high-frequency words are words that we see most frequently when we are reading and or writing. So it's important to know these words so that you don't have to spend all that brain power sounding them out, and you can save that for those longer words. So all week, we're going to practice reading all of our words, but every day we're going to focus on 2. So are you ready to help me with my 2 high-frequency words today? Awesome. Let's get started. So as we practice our high-frequency words, I want you to practice helping me read and write. So if you have a pencil or a pen nearby, make sure you take it out or use your finger and write it in the air or on a hard surface. Are you ready? Let's get started. So my first word is the word good. Help me read it. Good. Help me spell it. G-O-O-D. Good. Good job. My next word is about. Help me read it. About. Help me spell it. A-B-O-U-T. About. Good job, boys and girls. Now, I have 2 sentences for you. Try to help me figure out which one of these words will go into my sentence so that it all makes sense. Are you ready? Help me read the first sentence. The first sentence says, did you have a lunch? Help me read the second sentence. Second sentence says, tell me the game you like best. Now, if you're using your context clues, did you have a good lunch? Is that what you were thinking? Good job. Did you have a good lunch? Makes sense. So that must mean about goes with the second sentence. Let's read it. Tell me about the game you like best. Does that make sense? Yes. Good job, boys and girls. So our 2 words that we're learning today are the words good and about. But let's focus and practice reading all of the words that we're going to be learning this week. Ready? Great, around, idea, often, second, part, world, and to. Good job, boys and girls. So all week we're going to be focusing on 2 each day. So now that we practice our high frequency words, let's go and you're right. Let's go train those ears. So turn your listening ears up. I have a fun game today for you called Rhyming Words. And in this game, I'm going to say 2 words. Your job is to tell me thumbs up, they rhyme, or thumbs down, they don't rhyme. Okay? So did you get those listening ears turned up? Awesome. Okay, let's listen. Let's see. My first 2 words are spray and clay. Say it. Spray, clay. Do they rhyme? Good. Thumbs up. Spray has the A. Clay has the A. At the end, they do rhyme. Good job. Okay. How about these 2 words? Snail, tie. Say it again. Snail, tie. Do they rhyme? No, good job. Thumbs down, they don't rhyme. Okay, how about these 2 words? Lay, she. Do they rhyme? Lay has the A at the end, she has the E at the end. They do not rhyme. Thumbs down. Good job, boys and girls. You guys are doing such a good job training those ears. Okay, let's go and practice our sound of the week. Now, this week, we are practicing the long A sound, and we're using the train card. So the train card makes the A sound. And a couple weeks ago, we learned the A consonant silent E pattern. But guess what? This whole week, we're going to focus on the other spelling pattern. Now, long vowels are easy because they say their own names, but they're hard because they have lots of different ways to spell that one sound. So let's look at all the different ways I can spell the A sound. Let me get my reading fingers to help us. Ready? I can have just A by itself, like in the word baby. A-B-E, baby. Did you see that? A by itself can say A. Now, another way to spell the A sound is with the A-I. So A-I together says A, and it follows that rules of 2 vowels are walking. The first one does the talking. So A-I says A, like in the word train. You see how train has the A sound, but I spell it with the A-I, train. Now, another way to spell the A sound is the A-Y. Again, A-Y says A, and you see this little line right next to it? A is usually at the end of a word, like the word play. P-L-A-Y, play. Again, same sound, A, but spelled A-Y. Then we have the E-A. Now, guess what? E-A also says E, but sometimes they say A. So if you're reading and sounding out a word and you say E and it doesn't make sense, change it to the A sound, because there are some words that it's spelled with the EA and it says A, like the word break. Did you hear it? Break. Break. So did you see how it has the EA but it has the A sound? That's a tricky one. Now, another one that's not as common is the EY. So EY at the end also says A, like the word they. You see, hear that? They. EY at the end still says A. And then there is the EI. EI again says A. It's a tricky one because doesn't look like how it's spelled. So like in the word beige, beige, you see how the EI says A? And then sometimes it's the EIGH. So the EIGH, again, not as common, but all of those letters make one sound. It makes the A sound, like the word sleigh. You see how I sound it out? Sleigh. It only has 3 sounds, but lots of letters in that one sound. So this week, we're going to be focusing on all of the different ways to spell the long A sound. Now that we've practiced reading some of these words with all the different spelling pattern, let's practice reading words. Now, I wrote them all words with all the different spelling patterns on my chart, and I underlined them. Remember, they all make the same sound. What sound do they make? The A sound, you're right. So help me practice reading these words. Ready? This says snail, snail, May, trains. I added that S. Did you guys get tricked? Oh, you guys are so smart. Trains. They. Great. There's that EA. Way. Bay. Gain. Hay. Steak. Pray. And vain with that EI. Now let's practice reading. Ready? Reading the sentence. He paid the bill that came in the mail. Awesome job, boys and girls. Now let's practice our sentence dictation. I'm gonna say a sentence, you write it, and then we'll check it. Ready? Here's my sentence. They saw some great trains. How many words? 5. Let's see if your sentence matches mine. Ready? They. That's our focus sound, you're right. And because it begins a sentence, make sure it's capitalized. They saw, that's another side where we learned already. They saw some great, and this is a tricky one. That A was the EA this time. They saw some great trains. And trains has an S, that means what? More than one. Awesome job, boys and girls. You guys are doing such a good job. Remember, when things are too hard, what do we say? We say, I can do it. We say, I'm smart, because you guys are so smart, boys and girls. Don't forget to come back tomorrow so that we can continue our learning. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
To a brand new day, time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.